Hey, all right, here is our starting slide that I began to do designs on. So the objectives on this project was to create some play space as well as incorporate fruit trees into this. So here's my first slide. What we're looking at is I've added peach or pear trees over here. On this hillside, these are blueberry bushes. I've also cut a little bit of a flat path into this hillside, similar to like what you would see if you went walking in the mountains, but just so that you have access to both sides of these blueberries. Over here, where the water drains to this drain grate area, I've placed figs. The reason why is figs seem to really like wet feet. As I move to your patio pretty much faces south. What that means is during the day, this is going to be very, very hot. So I put Vitex right here. I put done Vitex because it's a good patio tree. It gets large enough that it's going to cast shade. It also brings in a lot of nature, butterflies, hummingbirds, and bees. But the bees are interested in the nectar, not biting you. Brings a lot of nature to this area. Along with that, I suggest a bird bath right here, and then do some other perennials around this that will bring in a lot of pollinators. So the crosshatch that you see, this is areas that we would till, amend soil, and prepare so that you can add other things in here. Also photoed back here, these are blackberries. Then of course we have coming from the gate, a walkway that wraps around, goes upstairs to your garden area in the back. Just zooming in here, this is Vitex. This is another plant. I don't have this drawn, but this is native azalea. This is going to be bloom in the springtime. And I took this, maybe not this one, but it really does attract a lot of butterflies around it. Here's another one. This is salvia. It'll attract a lot of butterflies. The vibe that I feel in that area underneath the Vitex is to have a bird bath and then to have lush plantings like what you see here. Other things that I want to draw your attention to. Um, let's see here. Let's move to this location underneath the peach and pear trees going up the steps. So these are peach trees, and you see the lushness underneath them. That's what I'm looking for in that area going up the steps. Something like what you see here. Now, you don't have to put ferns in there. There's a lot of other things that you can put, but this is one option for what you would put underneath the pear trees. Just another example, steps. In fact, your steps would probably be very similar to what you see here. And if you did decide to plant ferns underneath the peach trees, this is similar to what we would want to achieve. In this location, let me draw your attention to these small trellises right here. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's talk a little bit about what's planted around these steps. This is just a basic concept. It's a feel. You could do a monotone of mondo grass, or you could highlight this with a lot of other plants in there, like what you see here. The steps, you could do steppers, like what you see here, with gravel around it. Or you could do just plain flagstone. That's a solid flagstone walkway that goes from the gate all the way up to your upper garden area. Now let's talk about the trellises. On those trellises, you have the opportunity to do a vine similar to this one, which is clematis. There's also another one called passion flower. I like this one a lot. It's not quite as colorful as this, but this will attract caterpillars, which turn into butterflies. The flowers turn into passion fruit, which you can make drinks out of. So interesting plant, and this is a native plant to this area. All right, let's look at another view of this. And here we go. So I've got the flagstone wrapping around through here. I've got the steps. I've embellished the landscape by adding some pots, which you can do whatever you want with those. And I've also recommended that you take out the wood fence back here. The reason why is right now your eye stops at this, but you're looking at putting a whole garden underneath your power lines. So That will allow you to have more depth perception in your backyard. Also, if you're going to be investing your time and energy into that garden, you want to be able to see it. Also, if we look, I've taken these hollies and I bunched them over here, and we would probably take them again and bunch them in this corner as well. You've got a great resource. It's just the way these have been laid out are not useful for what you're trying to do. So we might as well reuse that resource. Steps, once again, things that you can do with the steps. Another example of steps. In here, I'm highlighting the option of doing a short wall. This is purely aesthetic. It's not necessary, but you could do a short wall in here and then do additional plantings on top of that wall. This is an example of the kind of material that you could build that wall out of. Moving to the front yard, we talked a lot about doing cuttable flowers and a butterfly garden up here. Once the grass is killed, you end up with mulch. To keep this looking good during the winter, I recommend you do something evergreen. This is Hypericum, St. John's wort. This is stone. This is a pot. I had in there to do Loropetalum. Now that I see this in person, I don't think that this is wise to have in there, but it was an idea. This is an example of how that stone would look. We're not worrying about Loropetalum. And once planted, this is a feel for it kind of concept where we have lantana, purple cone flowers, gladiolus, hypericum, amaryllises, oriental lilies. Those are a few of the things that could go in this location. And this is just a list of a couple of the plants that would do really, really well in here. Our main objective would be to kill your grass, till this area, amend it, and make it so that you can have really good play space in there. Just so you know what these look like: amaryllis, gladiolus, calla lily. All of those are great cut flowers. Oriental lily, great cut flower. Ranunculus. This is Speedwell, Veronica. Allium. Not lantana, not lilac. Lavender, there we go, lavender. So those are a couple things that I could foresee in that center bed where your water meter is located. One last thing I want to draw your attention to, this is the AC condensation area. This is continuously wet and soggy. We can fix this problem for you. A quick overhead view is grass, vitex, the pathway that leads to the stairs, the peach or pear trees, blueberries, and then all of this underneath the power lines becomes garden space. So that is an overview of my ideas. Thank you so much. Corey with Creative Habitats Landscaping.